Hello everyone, welcome back to RTS League. It's playoffs, season 32. It's been a while since I've done some RTS League, which if you aren't familiar with, team tournaments. These should hopefully all be 3 versus 3 in a league that's been around since 2002-ish. So this is season 32, if you can believe it. And I forgot to change my Twitch stream name. So hold on. I'll invite you guys into my room. I've got new lighting. It's kind of temporary new lighting because I'm just testing it to see how it works as far as how I'm going to display it. But I think I got it where I want it to be. It's just currently being held up by duct tape. It's a bunch of LED lights here. But let me really quickly change my chat thing. I knew I forgot something. It's going good, Oratos. I'm about to do some RTS League matches as soon as I change my name on my stream because it's wrong. ATB vs WKT-A RTS League recorded games. No spoilers. Don't know if anybody really cares, but no spoilers. All right, we're good. Look at Crispy. Yeah, these are the new lights. Watch this. They're blue. Oh, but we'll get them back to white. Anyway, game number 1 will be on ATB's home map. Let's get you guys into the proper screen here. And let's go. Oh, man, a lot of Norse on the team ATB, the all-time best. Now, last season, they lost in the semifinals, so they weren't the all-time best then. The season before that, they didn't make the playoffs. They weren't the all-time best then either. So I guess they are hoping that all-time best is for season number 32. And we are looking at a Mr. Boat in the bottom. The worst thing about team games is trying to figure out where each team is. Here, let's see. Mr. Boat's in blue. And his ally over here is Mariano in the yellow. Loki. And the top right is Grand Monster, who's playing for ATB. I guess he's technically their guest. Now, each team is allowed to have like a guest or two. But only one can play in a game. The reason for that is, I mean, Age of Mythology is now 18 years old, so trying to encourage, more teams to sign up, and if they need an extra player, need a guest, that's okay. So we've got the Norse boys over here, Odin, Loki, and Odin against WKT-A is Zeus, Ulysses also Zeus, and then Miracle Man is Kronos. So I feel bad for Miracle Man here because I'm thinking he's got a big old target on his back, being Kronos. And it's going to be tough. I mean, it's Marsh, so there's hunt everywhere. You got 3 Norse. I understand the Zeus picks because you get Ceasefire. But the problem is, I don't think Zeus units are mobile enough to be able to keep up with all of the Norse units. So, like, that's why Norse is so good in team games, is mobility. You've got Raiding Cavalry, or Odin Olsarks, which are fast, or you've got Loki Hersier. They can all, show up here. The Zeus and Uranus can show up to defend, and then the Norse can just outrun everything and then come all the way up here, where now your WKT units are, stuck in the middle, slowly trying to keep up. If you go Centaurs, I guess you could keep up, but the problem is Centaurs kind of get trashed by Hersier, so I don't know if you do that. The other thing you could do, I'd like to see a little bit more of this. Now, this is kind of annoying. I know that the recorded game ended because they had to restore. So I've got this all ready to go. We're going to have to stream a stream here. So we will turn Blackadder off, and now we are restoring the game in a stream. So it's a stream of a stream now. I was aware of this ahead of time. So we were watching Blackadder's stream, who's a little bit Let's see, do I have the quality all the way? Yeah. So Blackadder unfortunately can't stream at like 1080p, so we are limited. We also won't have any sound effects, but that's okay. We'll also be watching what Blackadder watches, which hopefully will be all the right spots. You might ask yourself, because maybe you aren't familiar with RTS League and who the clans are. Well, this is all-time best, the bottom right. A lot of extended edition players who have kind of moved on to Boobly now and then. I mean, you know Mr. Boat and Mariano from Champions League, if you've been following that. And both players have had some success, haven't been able to reach the playoffs, but both have been able to stay in the Champions League. So that's good. Then you also have Grandmaster, who's also a Champions League player, and if you were familiar with how he did pretty well this last season. So those 3 good players on ATB. And WKT also really skilled team. You don't hear about them quite as much because they generally don't play tournaments quite as much. But some consider him to be the best team player. He's up there for sure with like Green Sea Squash. So Aya's solid. Every game Aya plays, he's really good. So it's hard to beat him. Ulysses is a player who's really gotten a lot better lately. Like within the last year, has gone from like above average to really good. And then you've got Miracle Man, who used to play for JSS back when they were really good. And Miracle Man doesn't play a ton, but he's solid. And he always plays Aranos. So some would say maybe he's solid because he plays Aranos. But he's pretty solid here. But now we're looking at really the key for Norse in team games is to keep the aggression. And you should be able to do that. Now, I saw that both of the Zeus players went Hermes, which is, I mean, I can understand it, but I almost think it's easier for Zeus here to win by like just attacking. Like, and you don't see it. Oh, actually, we did see Ulysses go up with Athena, so they didn't both go Hermes. But like, what you don't see in very many 3v3s are like communicated rushes, like, or forward builds. Like, why couldn't Ulysses? I know he's the pocket, but why not forward build? And actually, Aya went up. Okay, Aya's up with Restoration as well, which is Athena, which I think is the right move. I don't think Ceasefire or Hermes gives you enough. I think the way you beat the Norse here is by rushing and going all in on one. Because then what happens is their extra mobility is kind of thrown out the window because they're going to have to defend one spot. So if you see double Athena rush with the Aranos player maybe coming in to help out, that can be hard. I think that's how you win this matchup. And I see that's what I like this because we're seeing kind of a forward build as forward as you're going to get. And that's Ulysses there is built pretty far forward towards the middle of the map. And that'll help with their pressure on the green. On the Grandmasters, we see a bolt has been used somewhere. On the Raiding Valkyrie. So the Volk has been used. And Blackadder loves his relics, which that's a good relic. Ulysses just captured the Cathar of Apollo, which gives villagers 10% movement speed. That's really solid. And Miracle Man has gotten the relic that gives plus 40% villager hit points for Atlantean. You're never going to kill them. But we see, like, I like this. We are already getting a lot of pressure in on Grand Monster here. And a lot of I can see why they probably save and restore is because Aya's kind of lagging in these games that were played live, streamed by Blackadder, and because, oh man, the raid on the villagers. See, this is already pretty disastrous. And this is where you don't expect it. The forest fire to kind of keep... kind of a panic forest fire, I guess. It's there. The trees have been burned. Yeah, this game is pretty laggy. Sometimes it's better to watch recorded games because you don't see this in recorded games. But okay, nice pressure by the Hersier here. Like, this is what you have to do, just not at the expense of not at the expense of Grandmaster losing his base. Is you have to get in on the villagers. But we've got nice placement there from Ulysses to defend that, and it is forcing the Hersier back. But now, with the Hersier not being able to do damage or enough damage, you're now in a scary situation where you've got double restoration coming in on Grandmaster pretty soon, and a really nice raid from Miracle Man punched his way through Mr. Boat's walls and is in on the raid. Oh, shockwave. Oh, that hurts. That is a lot of villagers dead. 1, 2, 3. Should be 4, 5. Well, they're getting a bit. Oh, he did punch through a wall. The dock. Oh, that is good. You don't see that very often. The villagers. Oh, he didn't escape. He didn't get in the tower. The dock from Miracle Man. That is so good. You don't see that enough either on Marsh or Watering Hole. The surprise raid, courtesy of the dock. I mean, it's not a lot of resources. What is it, 120 for a dock and like another 120 for a transport ship? And to kill 3 villagers like that, I mean, you get your wood back like pretty much right away. The resources you spent are instantly paid off for. I mean, even forced out the tower upgrade from Mr. Boat. So that's 300 resources right there, along with 3 villagers no longer hunting. And we've got the scary part up here on the top. 2 huge armies, classical age armies, and I don't know. Oh, they're trying to switch, I think. Looks like Aya's going back to defend the raids. These have been really good raids from Mariano. They have actually relieved the pressure from Grandmonster. Because you can see Aya's entire army is back. And oh man, another raid. Forest Fire to do a lot of damage to these units. It does all right. But this is still a continuation of that transport ship landing, where another pack of villagers hunting, no longer hunting. And we can see in the mini-map where red has now come down. Ulysses has come down on Mariano's base, which is causing Grandmaster to come down to defend. The Grandmaster raiding, but there's nothing to find up there. And does have the +6 line of sight. That's really good relic for raiding cavalry. But there's a big fight brewing down on the bottom. We can see Miracle Man has a little bit of an army down there. Not a ton, but doing enough. And we've now got 2 armies defending against Ulysses, but we've got Aya coming down to help out. Really nice spy on Odysseus there to see where these armies are. But now you've got a fight that I don't think ATB wants this fight. Because even if it starts going well, there's a restoration. ATB really has to run back and wait till... Oh, there's the first restoration. Maybe a little bit early use, because ATB can just fall back. But the throwing axemen are pretty slow. And oh, we got 2. Oh man, a little bit of... I don't know if you want to fight this. Here comes another restoration. I mean, I guess it forced out the resto. Now they need to fall all the way back. But ATB lost a lot there during those 2 restos, and we're getting an ad. I don't want an ad. This is what happens when you gotta stream a stream. I'll use this moment to eat zucchini bread. Courtesy of my wife. Another ad. Now, Age of Empires 4, man. Coming October, or was it November? We'll see if I can get a new computer by then. But okay, ads are done. Sorry about that. Back in the game. ATB retreating. And all of them are on the back foot. Some weird gathering here from... Why does he have all those there? And now we've got more yellow villagers getting killed down on the bottom. We've got this push coming up still. And this is tough. This is how you counter triple Norse on Marsh. This is what you do to counter this. Is just, you gotta pressure, you gotta rush, because it removes the mobility that the Norse get. Now, Grandmaster's doing pretty well, considering the early pressure he was put on. But Mariano, not really where he should be. But that's because he got raided on his hunt, which is because of that nice dock by Miracle Man to bypass the walls. And that's almost really been the difference so far in this game. And yes, the new little setup, I'll go over it later. It's a kind of a new temporary. It's duct tape for now. But yeah, I got some new setup here. Got the Ulsarks down there getting picked off by Miracle Man. Doing well is Miracle Man. He's a good player. He's, again, not one that you hear a lot about because, well, he doesn't play a lot these days. But a solid Aranos player, and he's smart. Which goes a long way. Because I think maybe a lot of Aranos players maybe aren't. I think, though, that maybe goes with kind of a nice fight there. Grandmaster with the raiding cavalry is starting to clean up some of these stragglers. And now this is kind of where you get in a little bit of a dangerous spot as the Greek, because if the all-out rush doesn't work, you don't have a whole lot to fall back on. So if the counterattack works, but now, oof, we saw some units getting picked off there by Ulysses, who is at 2 town centers. But yeah, now is the point where they need the triple Norse team, ATB. They need to do some damage now. That they kind of pushed back Aya, and it's now just two armies forward. So there's a few things you can do with being ATB. Is you can just triple an aggressive army. Like if all 3 of them converged on Ulysses' army, they could probably trap it out and kill it. Or you could go forward and raid. I think what they probably should do first, but there's some nice pressure on this town center, which I don't think Miracle Man has noticed yet, because his villagers just standing there taking it. But I think before this, I feel like, oh man, looks like finally 2 Miracle Man's back raiding army has been dealt with, but I feel like they should have all of them surround this army, because they know where it is. They've got Ulysses, or Odysseus, I guess you could say, spied. Both actually the same person, really. So like these town center grab here, I feel like the raiding cavalry and the Hersier should all come in on Ulysses' army right now and trap it all and kill it. I feel like that's where the Hersier should go, and I'm looking in the mini-map to see if that's where they're headed. So far, it looks like they are. But they should separate from throwing Axemen and get up there a little sooner, because if both these armies converge, especially with the flaming weapons now, they can absolutely wipe Ulysses' army there. But kind of those Green Raiders have kind of led Aya's army to it, so I don't know if it's going to work now. You got a lot of Toxotes, and that's a pretty narrow choke point there. So yeah, I think at this point now you can't fight. Almost now what you do, now that you've gotten both Greek armies placed up there, you got a decision. if you're Mariano, do you try to help defend, or do you go to Miracle Man's forward base? The problem here, I think if he goes to the forward base of Miracle Man, they're trading it with Grand Monster's home base, and that's not a winning trade. What Grand Monster needs, he needs a Frost. I don't know how close he is to aging up. But oh man. So we got you don't see Mariano's army in the left, but it's right there. I almost think you do flaming weapons, but oh. Okay, so I don't like this. I mean, the Frost is great. It's got two whole armies, so I guess in the end it probably will achieve what they need, and they will wipe the army out. But I think they could have done this a little better, where Mariano could have gone to Miracle Man's forward base, given that there was a Frost, leveled it, waited to use the Frost once this army was all the way into Grand Monster's base, and then got a really nice surround when Mariano came back with flaming weapons. But I think in the end this will be okay. But I think might have been better. But again, I'm sitting here in my omniscient seat. It's easy to say what maybe should have happened. But yeah, in the end, I don't know if the Greek players got quite enough damage in, because when you do double restoration like the way that they went, you now don't have any ceasefires. So you've got flaming weapons that can be full power, and we can see up at the top in the mini map that both Ulysses and Aya were forced to retreat. Now you still have the opportunity here where I still think, an Underworld has been used right into Mariano's base. Ooh, this will force Mariano to come back and defend. I don't even know if the town center goes down here. Oh, but this is the one that's aging up. It's like he knows. It does go down. Oh, man, that is big. That's going to take out that town center that Mariano was aging in. He canceled it. I think he went to age up in his other one. No, he didn't cancel. He's waiting for a Frost. There's the second Frost from Grand Monster with 300 hit points left. That will give enough time for the town center to complete the age up there. And killing the Underworld is good. Now that is a risky play. I didn't realize that there was still another Frost on the field, which makes the Underworld play super risky, because then you see what we have here, where now there's no way out. There's no way out. It's like the Fellowship trapped in Moria. The Mines of Moria. No way out. They're trapped. You now see the Frost. We see Fimbulwinter. And what looked really good for JSS 7-8 minutes ago now no longer looks good. Their rushes didn't quite do the damage that they needed. I think they could have just stayed on Grand Monster, maybe. But now, yeah, there's no Underworld here, so Aya's units are all getting picked off. They are completely gone. Aya is way behind Grand Monster. And Grand Monster has played a really good game. He's kind of carried. He's carried this game for ATB. I know all their scores are close, but Grand Monster he was the one that was pressured first early on, and he is the one that is ahead, really. He's done a really good job defending. So well played by him. We do see on the bottom, it looks like Mr. Boat has taken down Miracle Man's forward town center. And at this point, with Aya pushed all the way back into his base, and you've got an impending Ragnarok or two, the Kronos is going to have a hard time surviving for very long. And you can see we've got more ads, which means another bite on my zucchini bread. I'll tell you what, these Twitch ads are really stupid. Like, this doesn't make me want to buy or whatever it is. I don't even know what they're selling. I'm not really sure. It looks like a pizza. And now wings. Oh, they're advertising DoorDash. I don't even live in an area that has DoorDash, so that isn't good. Now we've got a dumb TV show. Anyway, yeah, the reason for this, if you're wondering, is because I'm currently having to stream a stream because the recorded game of this had to be restored. And once the game is restored, you can't watch the recorded game. Anyway, we're back with our recorded game again. And time is running out for WKT. I felt like their pressure would do better, but especially with that raid on Mr. Boat's hunt, that should have been enough for WKT to take out the Norse. I really do think it should have been. I think WKT should have just went all in on Grand Monster, double resto, and then just pushed through. But they didn't, and that's okay for ATB because they are now reaching all of their age 4s. We've gotten another tier coming in. Tier is a little bit sneaky good. I think people undervalue the amount of damage it can do to economies, and now we've got flaming weapons being used while they're at Ulysses' forward base here, and I think this will end up in the forward base falling. And why the lag? It's because it's not actually a recorded game right now. We are watching a stream of the live game. Now, Ulysses is just running circles around his town center. I don't know. He could just garrison. Oh wait, no. Hoplite can't garrison. Can they? Now I'm kind of questioning my knowledge. Can Hoplite garrison in town centers? Turning to fight this, there's a few pacifists on the field now. But looks like, well, now there's only one. And we got a Frost Giant that spawned. But not a lot of units reinforcing for Mariano. This is kind of just a flaming weapons to use flaming weapons. And that's the extent of it. Because we can see that his army is kind of melted. And I don't know where his army is. Other than it's not there anymore because it's gone. But again, Grand Monster all over Aya, who I think is still stuck in the classical age, which 20 minutes in to be stuck in the classical age, and there's another Fimble winner on Aya's economy. And that is tough to deal with. And man, Fimble winner is a cool god bar. Oh, there's his army. He's got 7 wolves there, Mariano does. You really don't maybe want to have 7 wolves when you've got flaming weapons. You might want to use flaming weapons before you put so much of your population into all the wolves. But we do see up there that Mr. Boat is started going to the Mythic Age. And oh, that back town center got destroyed by wolves. No, that was never mind. It did get destroyed by wolves. In the end, it's a resignation. So we've got resigns here from WKT. So that's meaning that they won the first game. And now I can get back to the better version here. I know that's the only game that got saved and restored. So I can't really look at the post game. But that was a good game. I think WKT had opportunities. The play there is just to push on Grand Monster, just to push right through, not rotate down here as they did. And my duct tape is failing on my lights here; they're all falling off. Hold on here. I just set this up temporary, my new lighting, to just check and see how it would look, and I like the way it looks, so I think I'm going to make this permanent. But right now I just have it duct taped, and duct tape isn't doing the trick. Where is more duct tape, by the way? I don't know. Well, whatever. I'll let my lights fall down. I'll duct tape it back up later. We'll get on to game number 2, which is going to be WKT's home map. All-time best has won the first game. Vercingetorix, yeah. Do I recommend Voobly or Extended Edition? Okay, here's a question in chat. You're going to move to AOM. What do I recommend? I think Extended Edition is much more noob-friendly. It's easier to set up. It's not free. It is a little pricey for what it is. I mean, you might want to wait for a sale. I don't know when the next sale would be. But I would suggest, as a new player, get Extended Edition. Because Voobly, there's a pretty high skill ceiling to get into Voobly. I think you would have an easier time just playing quick search on Extended Edition and getting your way there and then moving to Voobly if you want. But I would start on Extended Edition. It's a little easier to get games your skill level. Because playing better players and just getting whacked doesn't help you. You don't learn anything from games like that. So I would do EE. Once you get a little better, then you can move to Voobly. Build orders, really, the best thing is to download a recorded game or two of a player who plays the god that you want to play, and just look at what they do, and then just kind of emulate it. I mean, you're not going to emulate it perfectly. You're going to make mistakes. But really, high hunt, low hunt, water. The archaic age for all three of those is pretty much the same. You know, you got your high hunt build order, you got your low hunt build order, and then you got your water build order. If you could just watch a recorded game and just kind of copy the first 5 minutes, you'll be okay. I mean, you'll have a good foundation. Beyond that, you can watch recs, but really, just so much changes from game to game. It's, you know, watching further than really the first 5 minutes, first 6-7 minutes really probably doesn't help a whole lot. But that's what I say. And then after that, if you want to improve, you watch your own recorded games and see what you missed. I don't even really mean like, I mean, you can see like how much idle time you have. You can see what opportunities you miss and kind of use that. That's my kind of, that's how I would improve. Maybe even have somebody else watch your recorded game and tell you what you screwed up. Which, if you're not very good, it's going to be a lot. But that's okay. We're going to move on to game number 2. Good question. I hope that answered it as much as possible. Game number 2 will be WKT's home map. It's not a new camera, new lighting system. And it is on everyone's favorite map, Mediterranean. If you're playing a team that has a lot of Norse players, you pick Mediterranean. Alright, so, yes, so new lighting. But let's get into the players first. We are looking down at the bottom. Left-hand side are ATB. It's the same players, but different gods. Mariano. Actually, I know him as more of a Zeus player anyway, so probably playing Loki in the first game. A little bit different than what he normally does. I think he's a Zeus main by trade. But obviously, the last game he played a good Loki. So he's Zeus. We've got Mr. Boat is Kronos. That's kind of the easy god to switch to if you're going to play Medit. And we have a early deconstruct in on Aya. Ooh, that's really good. The deconstruct, the Kronos deconstruct in Aya's dock. The reason it's so good is because he was given the Gaia trees, which makes his fish boom so much better. The problem is, when your dock is getting deconstructed, you don't have a fish boom. Oh, I can't tell. So let's take a look here. What color is yellow? Oh, it must be 5. What did I miss? It's 6. He has 255 wood in the bank, and that's because of this delay on his town center here, or on his dock here. That's a lot of wasted resources at this point that, you know, it's kind of put him way behind. But let's finish going through our players. I guess I got distracted by that. And then the other player here is Grandmaster Poseidon. He switched from Norse to Poseidon. I really don't know how good Grandmaster's Greek is, so I'm not sure. I mean, all these three players are very good. But can they transition off of some of their main gods and still be about as good? I'm not sure. On the top, we do have Aya again. He's Hades. We've got Ulysses as Zeus. That's his main. Aya can kind of play anything. Then you've got Miracle Man as Gaia. Gaia is really good. And I almost do think that on Mediterranean, Kronos in a 3v3 might be the worst Atlantean. Kronos is really good because of Deconstruct and Time Shift early on. Gaia is really good because of trees. Really, these trees, this second set of trees, should have been given to Ulysses. Non-Atlantean, while trees do benefit all civs, like I think there's technically a 10% faster gather rate. Oh, Aya's in the chat. No spoilers. I don't know the results. But I think this second set of trees should have been given to Ulysses because non-Atlantean benefit more from it. Okay, so I started confused because Miracle Man didn't use his trees right away, so that kind of threw him off. And then he didn't build his second dock or predict the deconstruct because he was distracted by the fact that Miracle Man didn't use the trees right away. So good blaming the teammate. I like it. We are starting to see our age ups coming in. Oceanus, Prometheus, Athena, Ares, and Athena. We can see the one color that hasn't started aging up yet. Aya. A little bit behind here. And when you have the deconstruct used on the player, you then switch, and now this is where the time shift comes in. And I would like to see a storehouse here. This is like really inefficient. Like, oof. Oh man, I can't look at it. We've got the oracles coming in. Does he see this dock? He does not. The Promethean coming in. We've got a bolt has been used. Another bolt. Oh, it comes in. That probably should not have been built. And we still don't see a storehouse here. Okay. What do we got going on? Nothing too much. We've got two docks. Everybody got two. The second dock should not have been able to come in. Like, realistically right now, this dock should not be built. And a deconstruct should be coming in pretty soon on Aya's other dock. So, if Mr. Boat would have played this a little bit better, he could have prevented this one dock from coming up. We do now have a pestilence over here. I would think the pestilence would be better used on the pocket player because he's got two docks, and two docks make more boats than one. Just saying. I think that's a huge mistake, doing pestilence on this dock. Like, I don't understand it. The Promethean just gets bullied away. Oh man, these Minotaurs are just bullying all these. Oh man, mowing all these Prometheans around. And yeah, you can see that this pestilence really good here. And oh man, these Minotaur have done so much work. Oh man, just bullying all these Cyclops, bullying the Prometheans. And we have a restoration has been used to get villagers and boats in. And Yeah, this has been a bit of an oopsie so far from ATB. Now, Aya sent villagers down to fight or build a dock, and then he ran them up. Oh, he's switching to getting a town center already. Ooh. I think if he would have transitioned to water, I think they could still hold. I mean, I guess there still are 2 restorations. No, there is one. Well, only 1 restoration from ATB left. This is risky here. But the downside of being Kronos here is that Kronos doesn't have the economy that Gaia does. And oh, this is a bad pathing for Mariano. I'm losing a lot of boat hit points here. Do we see a Carnivora being used? Gets an insta-kill. Very nice. Carnivora is a little bit underappreciated, and that forces out a pretty crappy restoration here from Mariano. To the point where he's going to have to fall back anyway. He's not going to be able to win this fight. So, really well done by Miracle Man to win the battle here against Mariano. And now we have Ulysses coming in to help out. And now we do have Aya completely pushed off of water. Got him going all out on these hogs. He's pigging out on the hogs. And Aya, yeah, completely pushed off of water. But does have a town center. Does have a good amount of food here to withstand, to sustain double town center. And we've got these boats have maybe stayed up here a little too long. Should get on the fish of Ulysses. And oh, this is really well done by WKT here. Forcing all of these boats to come down here to defend means that Miracle Man and Ulysses, despite fighting a 2v3, are still able to continue fishing. And they actually, with another resto here, like if they combine forces, like Miracle Man probably should have come over this way, because now he is taking a lot of damage on these boats. Like, if they would have fought a full-on 2v3 here, I think they'd win, because they have a resto. And we can see Mariano getting he's fighting a double he shouldn't be fighting here. And the water teamwork here from ATB isn't quite what it should be. And Aya being really brave, grabbing that early town center, is grabbing a third one. Leaving his allies to fight a 2v3, but ATB getting a little bit outmaneuvered on the water. It's almost like it's not even a 2v3. You've got Mr. Boat throwing away his navy, and Grandmaster kind of threw his navy away earlier, and you're seeing Miracle and Ulysses winning a 2v3 on water. This should not be happening. Rather than come down here, rather than Grandmaster and Mr. Boat coming down to help defend, they should have just sat on the fish. Because you can see by coming down to reinforce, they got picked off and now they're losing. Whereas they could have, like 2 minutes ago, just sat on fish and probably forced JSS then to defend, and that would have been far better, because now we have Mariano is pushed off of fish, which is the same as Aya, but Aya's been on 3 town centers for a very long time. So while he's low score here, having 3 town centers, that's going to really help him out. So really well played by WKT here, the 2 on water. Really well done. And I thought that Aya quitting water was a mistake, but with his allies being able to hold 2v3, it wasn't a mistake. It was the right play. So well done by WKT. Now they are on They've got Mr. Boat pushed off of water. You can see now is the time where it's all the water transition into land. Like, you might see a few boats getting trained here, but at this point, you kind of just forget about water, and it's all about the land transition. Now, Mariano is missing an opportunity here. Oh, he hasn't checked that. Like, these 4 hoplites on this town center, they could completely stop this right now. I wonder if he's going to go forward and check. The problem is here, he's about to get pushed off of fish, which is going to really hurt his aggression. And we see now the hoplites come forward. They can do a lot of damage here. Should probably turn and fight. Turn and fight. Fight. Okay, now they turn and fight. Alright. But the problem is, because Mariano's going to be getting kicked off of fish here, he's not going to be able to sustain 3 town center production as well as hoplite Hippocon. So he probably, like, if he had water, he would probably be able to sustain the aggression here. Because he doesn't have water, he's not going to be able to. And that's big. Like, if he could have prevented this town center going up, he'd be in a great position. But because he lost water, and Miracle did not, he can't push this. Like, this is... You can see just how much a few little decisions can change the course of a game. A little bit better Navy management would have put ATB in a much better situation. And now they're behind. And it looks kind of even now, but I think they're going to end up being a lot behind fairly quickly, because Ulysses and Aya are ahead of the ATB Greek. So what you're going to have happen soon, I think, is you're going to end up having a underworld onto Mr. Boat, probably. And these Zeus allies aren't going to be able to be in a position to defend. Because he's trying to time shift buildings up here, but they keep getting destroyed. And even though Grandmaster is ahead in score because he's been able to he's the only one that has been able to fish on WKT without getting pressured at all. So he's in a pretty good position. He probably is maybe a little bit behind. At least, like, he shouldn't be getting pressured here, I don't think. But I mean, it's nice because I was able to just ignore water completely, so that's why he has the benefit of the aggression here. But I probably needs to fall back. Toxotes under town center fire isn't super good. You can see how much damage the town center does. I mean, it's just plugging away at these Toxotes. And down the bottom is starting to be a little bit of a stalemate. But Grandmaster should be fine. Should probably be aging up. Yep, here he is. He's aging up soon. Bring up Aphrodite. And Aya is not aging up quite yet. Mr. Boat up Hyperion. Alright. Pato, thank you. And welcome. A little bit of a raid here. Gaia raids aren't super good because their units are so slow. And it looks like Miracle is just kind of content to throw these units away, which I mean, he is throwing away an army here. And now he realizes, but that was a lot of resources to toss. And yeah, I think when ATB notices not ATB, when WKT notices this walling, they'll probably just bypass this and do an underworld back here. The question is, do they have a scout line of sight back here? Oh, here's the underworld. So the underworld's already coming in with a Pegasus. And now you're at the point where Mariano isn't in a position to defend. We have maybe a curse that'll be used here. The chaos has been used on this army as well. I would like to see curse come in on the bottom. See, Mr. Boat, he's up here with his army. and he can't defend this. And Chaos was used before a myth unit came through the underworld. And I guess Grandmaster is holding onto the curse as long as he can, or is not realizing that this is not good down here. And yes, the town center has fallen. You can see Mariano coming over to help defend, but it took him so long to get over that now this town center is done. We've lost a couple citizens here. And now this is going to force Mr. Boat to defend, and a nice army here, but Aya can just fall back and be fine, and then you might end up seeing a Hades earthquake coming in over here soon. And Aya has used Curse himself on Mariano's army. And this is a scary back build, and this is the value of Underworld. I mean, yeah, Mariano looks great. He's got nice walls, nice forward base here. What does it matter? You just Underworld, and it's all pointless. It doesn't matter. And now you've got WKT running around in the back, and Aya is in a really good spot. He's Hades. Hades can defend really well. Really good archers. Really strong buildings. Aya's going to be able to hold this. And I don't know how ATB will be able to withstand this. We even got a really strong push down here on the bottom. And I think Mariano's town center going to go down too. I don't know what Grandmaster holding on to is Curse for a very long time, and we can see Mariano at 1620 is now finally up. Finally up. And yes, Ulysses, already age 4, did play this game really well. Very good early defense on the 2v1 up here, and then him and Miracle basically winning C 2-on-1. Really well done by them. And Mariano, you can see just how far behind he is. Like, really far behind. I like how you called him, it wasn't Ulysses, you called him useless. Useless played well. Oh, man. That's funny. And meanwhile, all Aya has to do here is just hold. And he's, again, Hades. Hades is good at holding. And for him to hold against Grandmaster, who was the best positioned ATB player, is just going even with Aya. That's not what you need. You need Grandmaster to win that. And now we've got this town center has been nabbed by Ulysses. We now have a curse being used up here. That probably should have been used 2 minutes ago down in the bottom, but it's used up here. Generates a few pigs. And we've got Ulysses coming over to help out. We've got Restoration coming in for Aya to help him hold this position. Because really, I feel like the only way that ATB can win this game is if somehow, some way they push through up here. The other thing they could do, Mariano has an Underworld. Actually, what Grandmaster should do at this point is just fall back, hold this, and try to Underworld over here. That's the only way back into this. Because there are no Underworlds from WKT. Aya went a little bit strange for him to go up Aphrodite as a Hades. But this fight does nothing for Grandmaster. Like, he needs to do it, make a difference, but I think it's way too late. I mean, this back build here is just huge. Like, really? Grandmaster... Well, okay. No. So the problem was Grandmaster went up. He can't get Underworld because he's Poseidon. Yeah, the problem all is that Mariano was just so slow to age up. Like, if they could have matched Underworlds, like maybe Underworld Grandmaster down here, maybe could have held this and they'd be okay. But, oh, a couple citizens got picked off here, and we have ATB fighting back on the bottom. I feel like Miracle Man doesn't really have an army. He's got a Tartarian gate over there. He's got a few units over here. Nice push up here. So it's kind of funny. So they got to this position on Mariano, then they just kind of abandoned ship in a way and went up this way. And now they're all over Mr. Boat. We had a Chaos got to use, which did get to Colossus, so that's nice. And it looks like this push will be held. But we're getting a Ulysses grabbing now a 5th town center. That's going to be tough. And we've got Tartarian Gate. Mr. Boat is in a tough position. Citizens going down. Oh, man. Tartarian spawned. This has been a fantastic Tartarian Gate, actually. It is doing so much damage to Mr. Boat. We do have Polyphemus. He's kind of like your one-stop shop when you want to counter Tartarian Gate. Polyphemus, you send him by himself and he deals with it. Meanwhile, up here, in our endless stalemate, really strong push down in the bottom. Now that Mr. Boat has been pushed all the way into his base, he really can't help out. I guess he can vortex in if he needs to. You might see that coming soon. Petropolis needs to come down here. Colossus down here. Mr. Boat holding on to his vortex for dear life. Does he have it up? He's got it up. Mr. Boat is kind of out of shape here, trying to figure out what he needs to do. He actually only has like one town center. I guess that's not much of an army to vortex. Probably should have vortexed like a while back. Yeah, now comes the vortex. Maybe a little bit late. Probably could have come sooner. It happens. Here comes the vortex. Eka Gigantes will push away a few units, and we'll then try to get in on all these Helipolis, which, oh, this town center goes down. The delayed vortex was the reason I allowed that. And Aya just playing happily to a stalemate because he knows his friends down here doing some work. Ooh, lack of armory upgrades, but that's okay. And I think this is going to be over pretty soon here. I don't know how you can fight back here if you're Mariano and Mr. Boat. They're in a pretty tough spot, and there is the resign. That is it. GG. We're going to a game 3 in this best of 3. WKT Ferrari has won their home map. It looks like GG because it is. WKT ties up the series with a really nice game. I was a little bit worried with what happened to Aya early, but some naval mismanagement. I feel like ATB could have won this game, or at least been in a much better spot, but I think they had a pretty significant mismanagement of their navy. I mean, the fact that they lost Water 2v3 or didn't win Water 2v3, which is a loss if you can't, that kind of signifies a problem. Let's take a look at the boat lead here. So they're up essentially. At this point, it's basically all fish in Navy. They're up 51 boats to 35. And what happens? This. They lose their Navy advantage. That shouldn't happen. But well played by WKT. Really well done. And all resources ended up actually really equal. And that's despite Aya, who's way below. I mean, getting pushed off water that early really hurts. But he did what he could, and he ended up being able... This is big here. The fact that Aya was able to hold off against this. I mean, he's way behind in economy. And was still able to hold. So that's really well done by Aya. Overall, well played by WKT. Took advantage of a few mistakes by ATB and come up with the win there. Well done. Not any resource distributed, so some nice kill-death ratios from Ulysses there. And Mariano, not a nice one. It's kind of your big difference there. But all right, game 3. This would be on a random map here. So nice to see a game 3. Did I give WKT their win? I did. Game 3. On Blue Lagoon. This is a nice map for a game 3. Alright, so what do we got with gods? It looks like ATB went all in on the Norse, hoping to get some sort of land map with decent hunt. They got it. You got Grand Monster as Odin. Mariano as Loki. Mr. Boat as Odin against Ulysses as Zeus. Miracle Man as Kronos. Aya as Zeus. So this is actually the same gods as in game number 1. The difference is Blue Lagoon versus Marsh. Now Marsh, great Norse map. All the hunt. And it's pretty defensible unless you're like Miracle Man and throw up a dock and kind of do a surprise raid. Blue Lagoon is a lot more open. It's really hard to defend everything. And there's not quite as much hunt. Now, it's still a decent hunt map, but there's not as much safe hunt, which makes it not quite as good, I'd say, for the Norse. Because the Norse weakness is early on before they start getting their army rolling, where they can be pushed into their base. Really nice rhino spawn here for Grand Monster. So a 3 rhino spawn. That's juicy. So if I'm ATB, or if I'm WKT, got some decisions here. Because they lost this matchup in game number 1. So do they try the Athena push again? Or do they instead go more defensive? It tends to be a little more standard. Do they go with Hermes? The question of the day. I think they go Hermes here. I think they switch. Because yes, while there is less hunt for the Norse, there's also less hunt for your hoplites. So I think they switch over to Hermes, which I don't know is necessarily the better choice. But when you lose game 1 after going all in on the Athena, it's kind of hard, you know, mentally to say let's go back to it. But we'll see. We'll see what they choose to do. The other difference too is because it's a more of an open map, it's even easier for the Uranos to get in raids. It's also easier for Centaurs to get in raids. Now while yes, Loki Hersier do well against Centaur, Odin does not. So you're going to end up having your Loki pocket. We'll have to play, if we see Hermes, which I think we will, your Loki pocket is going to have to play some defense. Pretty good relics. Armor of Achilles plus better infantry hack armor. That's good. Blanket Empress Zoe. It's alright. Black Lotus. Villagers farm faster. And we've got one more way down here. Nose of the Sphinx. Okay, I was wrong. They're running it back. Athena again from both Greeks. So I was wrong. Double Athena. Now, the other thing to point out is ATB is in the same setup as last game with the Loki in the pocket. In this game, it's a little bit different, where now the Uranos is the pocket for WKT. So they're doing the double Athena again. Nice pressure here. Might be able to... Oh, the hero procced onto the different villager. I'm going to say, but this is a lot of damage here. And this is a very late advance for Mr. Boat. 3:57 means he's going to be up at 5 minutes. That is... There's no reason it should be that slow. That's not good. That is not good. I think he advanced it slowly because he's moved on. I don't know why he's advancing at 5 minutes. That's bad. There's no reason for that. Now, he hasn't lost any villagers yet, but it's a lot of idle time. Yeah, I don't think you can do this. Because now he's going to be so far behind in military production. The Mariano getting a little bit of early pressure along with Grand Monster onto Aya's Hunt, but doesn't really matter. His Hunt is gone anyway. Aya should probably just turn and go back to another hunting spot. Oh, he's coming down here. This is brave. But this is a problem. Mr. Boat is in a heap of trouble already. Huge trouble here. The Minotaur should probably fall back. I don't even know if this longhouse comes up. Oh no, this is disaster. Oh man, this is not good. This is really bad for Mr. Boat. It's all because of that slow... I don't understand why. I'd almost have to watch it back and see. Why are we advancing as Odin 5 minutes? That you can't do that. Not against a good player. Against a bad player or, you know, an average player who's not going to pressure, you can get away with it. But to have your first longhouse up at 550 against an Athena push... Like, there's no way he can hold this. Not without help. Now, the good thing is it is a team game. So, Mariano can come up here and save the day. But to be an Odin and pushed off of Hunt at 6 minutes, that's rough. Grandmaster, he can't help. Because he's going to get too much pressure himself. And now we see... the Kronos also coming forward up here. And yeah, this is getting pretty scary. We do have Hall of Thanes. Not yet. Not quite in. Where's Hall of Thanes? Let's see. Is it getting researched? No. A little bit risky to come forward without Hall of Thanes. But now we're having the pressure in on the gold mine up here. And this is... yeah, this is dangerous. Tower already getting pushed back. I mean, there is a gold mine here, so if the pressure comes in on this gold mine, it's not the end of the world. But it's not good. Again, that's a lot of moving and shaking around. And, I mean, problem is the low-key player doesn't want to be fighting all on at fights early on. So having to fight here wouldn't be good. Now, he can get in on some of these villagers maybe a little bit. Because the army here is a little bit out of position. And we get a nice troll spawn. I guess maybe would have rather seen like an Einer Jar. But okay, pushes the villagers back, but doesn't actually kill any. And now this gold mine is now exposed. Ulysses is pushed through the wall. Villagers will happily come back. Got the troll here. Could actually, with a little bit more care, the troll could kill 2 villagers here. But... he's slowly gonna get the Oracle. And then he'll get the Scout. This troll's living forever. And now we have the Hersier coming back in. This could help save Mr. Boat here. Oh, but it's still not able to get any villager kills. Mr. Boat's off of gold. And he could finish this off. Does Mr. Boat know about that back gold mine? He does. Kind of in a resource problem here. Grandmaster, just kind of holding. Not a whole lot to talk about. Oh, this is not a good fight here. To get back. Your slow throwing axemen will just get shredded by all these Toxotes. And your Hersier, again, you don't want to be fighting an all-on fight until your heroic age. And, oh, the villagers are up here. Oof. Aya is brave. This is not safe. I mean, they have the oppressor up here. So it's kind of safe. But it's risky. I mean, imagine there's a spy up here, okay? Healing up the low hit point units, that's good. Down here, just not a whole lot going on. It's kind of a dance around the gold mine, which at this point is almost out anyway. There is a back gold way over there. The other one is right there. The Grandmaster could have a little bit of a problem soon. But yeah, this is scary. I mean, we've got Mr. Boat just on the back foot all game here. Getting some nice kills on the Toxotes, but or not the Toxotes, on the ooh, this is a nice surround here. They could turn this around, could ATB, if they now get all up on this army here. If we get the Hersier to surround Ulysses' army, they could wipe this all out. Got some villagers, but Mr. Boat is just so far behind. And Mr. Boat should not be fighting this. He can't fight this without the Hersier ball. And again, so slow to retreat with these throwing axemen. Nice to have a spy again on the Odysseus, so they know it's here. But yeah, if we get a double fight, if we get all these units coming in at the same time, get around, run around to the bottom. We could have a really good surround here by Mariano. Oh, they should have fought that. I mean, I guess he's a little worried about these. They could have pushed through here, but we've got, a nice back raid by Aya, who's kind of gone all the way up and around. And we have a forest fire, but a lot of vills killed there. And we've got some now counter pressure from Grandmaster. They're kind of trading raids here. And we've got a very, very bold town center grab from Ulysses, who's already grabbed another one too. Uh-oh. Aya's coming in on this town center while Grandmaster's army is all forward. Oh no. This is the power of Zeus. You leave your base open and the hoplites run in, and what was an even match between Grandmaster and Aya is completely flipped now, with Grandmaster going forward, getting no damage, Aya getting a raid on the hunt, putting the town center down, and that is tough to recover from. Raiding cavalry way forward, and I don't even know if Grandmaster would win this fight. I think he will. He's got enough of an army to defend this. But yeah, losing his town center, that's 700 resources. Losing villagers over here. Got Terma run around everywhere. The other Hersier coming in. Nope. Slip into the manor. Oh, yeah. See, Grandmaster can't even win this because there's still a restoration. Raiding cavalry coming in. Need to get... Yep, okay. Nice little move there. Raiding cavalry might force out a retreating resto, maybe. But now we've got the hoplites on the raiding cavalry and the Toxotes on the throwing axemen. So this is really good. There comes the resto. Really well done by Aya here. And that resto is going to win him a fight along with the military management. You can see Grandmaster having to retreat. A nice shockwave. The Minotaur will live forever because there are another resto. Double resto used. Here comes Mariano in to help out. Got more units coming in for Aya. And this has done so much damage to Grandmaster. And it need not have happened. Finally have the Minotaur getting down. But I doing really well. Fighting a 2-on-1 basically and winning it. The Myth units will probably eventually win the tide, though we do have, I guess, Odysseus at full health still. So maybe not. We have a few Terma coming in, and yeah, this was... Man! This side of the map flipped so fast. It was even 3 minutes ago. And now it's just completely flipped. We have some nice pressure here. You almost maybe want to do a flaming weapons. Yep, here comes flaming weapons in. I mean, you got to do something if you're Mariano. You gotta do something. Mr. Boat actually kind of survived pretty decently so far. Got his forward town center. Defended against all these these Terma. But yeah, the problem is this. I mean, Grand Monster has nothing going for him here. Nice little surround in on the Villies. Getting a few kills. Stop the town center. He got a mountain giant spawn. I mean, killing a counter barracks doesn't do a whole lot. Flaming weapons hasn't really done much either. Grand Monster. Nicely done with these 2 heroes to get on the battle board too. And now while Mariano is down here having to defend, he's now got to worry about Ulysses knocking on his front door. But we do have this throwing Axeman army coming down to help out. But yeah, Grandmaster, I don't know if he's ever going to get his base rebuilt. He's got nothing. He's at 32 pop with 21 food in the bank. In fact, he has 0 on food right now. And really nice choke point for all these ranged units here. That battle board can't get at him. And wow, I thought that the turning point or the game deciding front was up here. In the end, down here, and Aya has changed what was a very even match with just some better military management, has completely destroyed Grand Monster. Now, throwing Axeman against Toxotes is probably not the fight you want to take. We can see Ulysses at 3 town centers, Mr. Boat at 2. But this is disaster down on the bottom. Miracle has pushed off the little Loki raiding. And Grand Monster desperate to try to rebuild. I mean, you don't want to... I mean, the game... It's in rough shape. I mean, you don't want to resign. This is game 3. This is the best of 3. So ATB loses and they're out of the playoffs. So obviously you don't want to resign. But it's going to be tough to come back at this point. These throwing Axemen are not... I don't know why, yeah. You can turn and fight, and these throwing Axemen are just going to get shredded right now. Oof. A lot of damage as they retreat. We do finally see Grandmaster rebuilding his town center, but the damage has been done. Aya is so far ahead. Ulysses has reached heroic age. Yeah, they need a comeback, says Cuddy Danks. They need a JJ comeback, and I'm not on the team, so they aren't gonna get it from me. Yeah, in a game like this, the only way you could really come back is if the Loki, nice shockwave to get on all these throwing Axemen, but is if the Loki is able to like just decimate the Uranos. But when the Loki is forced to defend his ally down here, you can't do that. You see, look how close all 3 of the WKT players were in score. They're all like within 10 points of each other there for a little bit. But yeah, the Loki playing defense is not where you want your Loki to be. And Grandmaster has his town center back. But they're looking. They need a quick frost. They need a lot of. They need a few quick frosts, not just one. We do have a frost coming. We have a bronze that has been used. You don't see bronze a lot. It's a bit of an underwhelming god power in 1v1, but in team game where you can get multiple armies getting the benefit of the armor, that's really nice. Now, the problem here is I don't. It's not like WKT was fighting over like a super important spot. We have frost has been obtained and now used. So we will have a frosted army. So it's kind of cool. I mean, frost at this point, you know, having bronze doesn't really matter because you get 99% armor from the frost anyway. And it's, I mean, if frost, and there's your one frost. We could get another frost here, but up, because Mr. Boat's got to help out Grandmaster, he's losing his forward town center, courtesy of a few Petrobolus and a Hydra. Yeah, I mean, you could. The problem is they can't though. You can't wall them in because of this town center here. I mean, you could maybe longhouse build. But it's not quite working out. But yeah, now that the frost has been used on the bottom, got Mr. Boat in pretty rough shape. And we will see the frost come out. Units will try to retreat. Still having their bronze, but yeah, frost. I mean, that was a good way to kill a lot of army there. But Mr. Boat now is in some pretty deep doo-doo up at the top. I mean, now what we need to see is, I mean, Mariano has got to be able to run up to the top and just save the day as quickly as he can, but I don't know if he's going to be able to here. Hold on. And the hill fort goes down. Ulysses has reached the Mythic Age, which means we're about to see some Helipolises come in. Now, Mr. Boat could probably fight this. Probably wants to before Bellerophon comes in and starts jumping all over these they're frost giants. We do have the Hydra was frozen. That's a good frost to get on. And Grandmaster is, I mean, kind of back into the game. I mean, his economy is still in shambles. He's kind of stuck in Age 2 for a while. You're not going to have any sort of late game Ragnarok coming up soon to like wipe out the Uranos. And Mr. Boat is running out of time. Oh no. Don't want to throw away. Oof. Throw away your Colossus too. That's not good. So Mr. Boat has reached Ragnarok. We've got the Ragnarok in. This is kind of desperation here. As we see now the Uranos showing up. The problem is, I don't even know if Ragnarok can clear this out. What kind of armory upgrades we got. They're okay. But yeah, the insta-reg here with, what's his pop? Anyway, 250 and 250 pop reg. That's not super great. And he's kind of got to fight a 2v1. I don't know if he, like I said, he even can like clear this out with his reg. Doing well on the bottom. A little bit out of position with his army. And getting caught out, losing a lot of hit points, losing a lot of units. But, I don't know what Mr. Boat's doing with his army down here. I mean, he's killing a few military buildings, but he's going to lose his base. I would... I don't know about this. Bellerophon, like I would have thought you'd leave like some of your Rake heroes up there to kind of save the day. But instead I guess he's trying to go for the let's wipe out the Uranos and turn it into a 2v2 I'll give up my base. It's okay if I can clear out the Uranos. Nice little counter push down here on the bottom, actually. We've got Aya's town center is almost flattened. ATB actually is surviving a little bit longer than I thought they would. Grandmaster's got an army, but we've got now Miracle Man showing up. We've got Helios, a Vortex is being used, so Miracle Man shows up just to leave. And Evil Vortex right on top of the Ragnarok army. Got some Raiding Rag in the back. Town center has gone down. Pretty good armory upgrades from Miracle Man. And it looks like, I mean, this one Vortex will kind of hold the day there. Oof. Town center not quite going down. A lot of towers down here. I mean, I guess there isn't. This Mountain Giant is the only siege unit down here, and he is kind of poorly pathing right now. Could have had him up here. But yeah, Odysseus is plaguing him down. No, I don't think ATB's coming back because that Vortex has finished off Mr. Boat. And Ulysses is finishing off the remainder of Mr. Boat, who is about to disappear off the map. Or we could say he is about to disappear. Nice little counter push down the bottom, but I mean, it's just taking so long. I mean, this has been a 2v1 here, and now with the Vortex, we'll save the day. Again, not enough siege here to do the damage they need. You got 3 towers with crenellations. You've got the Vortex now. And this will be it. GG, well played by WKT. So WKT win the first match here of their playoffs. So they have moved on from the quarterfinals to the semifinals. And ATB couldn't quite do it. And really, you can kind of see the two main things that happened here that resulted in ATB being in the situation that they were. You had an Odin advancing at 5 minutes, not getting his first longhouse built until almost 6 minutes, so that wasn't good. And then you have Grand Monster, who he just got badly outmaneuvered here by Aya. And while a lot else happened in this game, you can kind of say those 2 moments. ATB doing a couple mistakes. WKT doing well to take full advantage of it. And that decided the game. Really, it was, I mean, yeah, whew. Grandmaster just got shredded. I mean, you can see, you isolate these two. Pretty even. Pretty even. Resources, pretty even. Military, pretty even. Score, even, and then outmaneuvered, and then just nothing for so long. And that kind of did it. ATB held in longer than I thought they would. But in the end, WKT emerge victorious. Well done to them. They take the series 2-1. So well done, well done, WKT. The old Ferrari. The hot rod machine moves on, rolls on to the second round. Grandmaster. Time to heroic age. N.A. Not good. Not good. Well done by WKT. Well done. All right. Well, that was a fun series there. So, but the good news is, oh, this guy wants me to cast a game. I can't now, Fruit Lops. His name is Fruit Lops. Why not Fruit Loops? Must have already been taken. But I got a game here to do for my good friend Mr. Fimblewinter. We'll do a little coaching session. Do these from time to time, not too often. My mother always told me not to chew with my mouth full. So I'm breaking her rule. So we're going to do a little recorded game here that Fimbulwinter has wanted me to watch for a while. So we will move on to that. We got time. It's only 10:28. So let's find where I downloaded and put it. Actually, I didn't put it in my folder yet, did I? Okay. All right. Well, yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. I'm hoping to do most of the RTS League playoffs. I did a dual cast with Blackadder on a series on Sunday, so you're not going to see me cast that because I already watched the games. And that was on the RTS League channel. But yeah, RTS League is in the midst of the playoffs. See, there's 8 teams in the playoffs. So that'll be fun. Good, nice set of games to go through and watch. Quarterfinals, semifinals, finals. So that'll be fun. I haven't done any team games for a while, so it'll be fun. A nice little change here. But glad you guys enjoyed. Glad Virginity Slayer enjoyed the games. Jeez. Oh man, I maybe doubt the veracity of that name, because if you have to say what you are, maybe you really aren't that. You know, if you have to tell people, people should know. You shouldn't have to tell them. Just saying. What am I looking at here? What's up, Julian? Good to have you on board. Hold on. As soon as I figure out what in the world I'm trying to do with my computer, we'll get the score. It's over. Madera. I'm not going to spoil it to you. If you want to, just go back in time and watch the beginning. It's a good set. Nice set of games. So yeah, I don't want to spoil it. If you know, you can go actually right now, you can go into my past broadcasts on Twitch and you can rewind all the way to the beginning of the stream already if you wanted to do that and start out at the beginning. Julian, now I'm not going to play a game now because I promised a fellow that I was going to do a watch his recorded game and tell him what to do. Uh-oh. Hope Madara does not see the chat. May or not be accurate. Hey, Toeface, he agrees with me. It's always the guy with the big mouse. All hat, no cattle. That's right. If you gotta describe how awesome you are, you really aren't awesome. People should know. Okay, I'm just going to throw it in a new folder too. And we're going to move on. Do a little bit of a coaching session. Uh-oh. Hold on. Close your eyes, Madara. Alright, we can go this down. Move all this out of the way. Order, move to bottom. Alright, here we go. Should be good. Okay, let's see. This isn't, I mean, don't expect super high quality, I think, from this match, as was admitted to me. Now, the name of the game is entitled Ra OP. So, I guess we shall find out. Is Ra truly OP, or did our Fimbulwinter friend make some mistakes? So, now I will say, and for those of you who watch me a lot, you'll know better than, I shouldn't have to say this, but Thor isn't my specialty. I'm more of a Ra player. But so it's actually helpful that there's a Ra here, because I can kind of say what should or should not be done. Now, Fimbulwinter has some really nice to have those Rhino here. You can get the town center in to shoot on them. That'll help out. And the Ra player, for some reason, is on chicken, even though his Rhino are up there. But it is important to look at our hunt amounts on Savannah. And it's not a whole lot, actually. You know, you kind of think of Savannah typically as high hunt. Not necessarily. I mean, you do have nice starting rhino, but this is your secondary hunt here. 6 gazelle, that's not great. And then the other one is 4 zebra. That's actually pretty low. So, like, just looking at the map itself, the way it's spawned, I'd say it is to the Ra favor. He's also got a nice second gold mine here. To the point where, like, as the Thor, I'm really not sure what you want to do here. Let me get fast forward a little bit. Because you really can't pressure the Egyptian in our classical age. And I don't know, man, this is weird. The Ra player has now decided he wants his rhino. He must not have noticed they were up here. That happens. So, like, as the Thor here, since you probably don't want to do classical age aggression because it's not going to get you very far, you got a decision to make. Do you 1 town center fast heroic, or do you 2 town center and try to hold into probably like a Ragnarok? Those, I'd say, are your best chances against a Ra. Is a 1 town center fast heroic where you push the secondary gold mine, which would be this, which is a kind of a tough one. Or you do more of a 2 town center. You don't even really make a super huge army right away because you want to get to heroic age for Frost so that you can delay any sort of Ra push on a town center. But yeah, that's the 2 things you can try. A Gold Starve or a heroic. Or like a kind of a semi-Ragnarok kind of a thing with a 2 town center. The problem is, because this map doesn't have a lot of hunt, it's going to be a little bit tough to do your Ragnarok strat. So I think probably here your best bet is a Gold Starve. And that's a heroic age Gold Starve. You might think, well, why not go full out classical age and Gold Starve? The problem is, if the Ra goes Ta into Hathor, you really don't have anything that can kill a Wadjet and a Petsuchos that's properly managed. And then you're going to have a hard time killing the Migdal or keeping it down. So, okay. So 428, 430. So yeah, I think I see a little bit of the problem already. He's actually lucky though. The winner is. Oh, a Bast. That does change things. Fimbulwinter's a little bit lucky in that the Ra player is going forward, because normally the early 430 attempt at like any sort of pressure, if he is going to do pressure, isn't going to accomplish much, because you normally don't have a Ra. You know, really, at this point, the Ra player should kind of be in his base in this situation. But maybe he's going to grab this town center, and that's why. Okay, he's making a raiding cavalry. Okay, he stopped his raiding cavalry. Now he's grabbing a town center. Okay, so this isn't bad so far. It's a decent town center to grab because it does protect these gazelle. But what I kind of alluded to earlier is this is a tough map to kind of do a semi-rag. Because it's not a ton of resources. But he does have 9 goats. And really, I think that the opponent going Bast here is better for him. The only thing I would have said would have been scary is a Bast Sekhmet. Yes, Raptor, the series did finish. It was a good series. If you want to, I don't know if somebody will be silly and spoil it for you. You might want to go back in time. Possibly. And now they're coming down there. Okay. Alright. Yeah, so far I wouldn't say that Fimbulwinter has really done anything wrong. He's got husbandry. That's good because it's getting his sheep to fatten up faster. The Ra is making barracks. So, yeah, at this point, with what the Ra is doing, and we're at what? I don't know if we're maybe 1650 Voobly level, which is maybe, this is maybe like 1900, 1950, I don't know, something like that, extended edition level. So I guess Fimbulwinter, it'd be nice to, so at this point, we're seeing you transition into a classical age army. Really, you should you should be going to heroic age here. I mean, it's kind of to your benefit that he's actually making barracks units. But here's what you should be able to know from what the Ra has done so far. He's gone Bast and grabbed 2 town centers. The thing you have to be scared of is a Bast Sekhmet. But if he's grabbed a second town center, you know that the Sekhmet isn't coming anytime soon. So you can afford to just go kind of quick to heroic age, or even grab a third town center, because his pressure is going to be so delayed. Now maybe you are saving up for a age up here. That might be what you're doing. I don't think you have an armory here. Yeah, I wouldn't. Savannah is, you can do Bast, but I wouldn't have with the amount of hunt that there was on this map. I mean, Bast can work on Oasis and Savannah, provided the opponent is thinking you're going Ta, which they usually do. But yeah, you can do Bast here. So, okay, so you are going up to heroic age here. Didn't leave a Herseer. You kind of want to leave Herseer around your hunt here. Would John Arbiter go Bast or Ta? That's a good question. Okay, so I don't have a problem with this, actually. Because you do want to make a few units to provide some sort of pressure. Even if they don't really accomplish anything, you're doing some sort of pressure. That's good. But when you see the 2 town center Bast, I think on a map like this where there isn't a ton of hunt, and you can make dwarves as Thor because Thor dwarves are good, I think you can afford to grab this town center and then just kind of think about it. I mean, if you wanted to play it that way, think about a semi-quick rag. I would like to see hand axe at this point. Having said that, though, I don't know if there's enough. There might not be enough food on the map to get you to a third town center mythic age. Yeah, Braggy. So this is more of like the classical way to play Norse. I don't know why you could have got that. The classical way to play Norse Thor is Braggy into a later Ragnarok, but the more modern way is a Frost here. Because it gives you time to reach your heroic age, your mythic age. Now here you do have, again, another choice. Is what do you do here? Do you try to push? Or do you just try to go to mythic age? I'd also like to see at this point, you should be getting your, you should have hand axe and you should have your second gold upgrade. The second gold upgrade is really important here. Because Thor, the one thing you can do is Thor is load up on dwarves, get a lot of gold, and you can kind of buy your way to Mythic Age, and it's actually, with how fast dwarves are gathering gold, it's actually, the purchase is to your benefit. If you're buying like 500, yeah, shaft mine. If you're buying 500 food, it's to your benefit. It's actually cost efficient to do that. But you kind of need shaft mine to do in order to accomplish that. So let's see. You've done a nice run around on the map. You know where the gold mines are. You don't. I think you just checked here and you know he's not here, which tells you he's up here. He's almost up Hathor. You're actually in a decent spot. I mean, if you were to go all out and attack at this point his gold mine with flaming weapons, I think you'd be okay. But you gotta do it pretty quick. But see here though, I know flaming weapons look so juicy, but frost is actually just as good. Because right now, say you had frost at this point. With where you came in at, you could have frosted all of this right now. And it would have been right before that Migdal even came up. And at that point, it kind of almost would have been an insta GG. Now here's the thing is your army's a little bit spread out, and once he gets this wall up, I don't think you want to cast flaming weapons here. But we'll see what you do. You are missing an opportunity at this point. Yeah, you could have grabbed that third town center and gotten a little bit better of a boom. So, do you attack? At this point, if you attack and use flaming weapons, you could try it. Now you have the Petsuchos coming in. Don't click the flaming weapons button because you don't win. Oh, Eclipse to block flaming weapons. You actually, if you would have used flaming weapons there, you would not have won that fight anyway, I don't think. I don't think you would have. But yeah, that was a good Eclipse to potentially block a flaming weapons, but I don't think flaming weapons there would have won it for you. And he's got like a lot of nice rock pressure here. The other thing that Frost does that's very helpful is that it gives you a Frost Giant, which actually does pretty well defending the rock raid. Because if the croc is left out for just a millisecond too long, the giant could freeze it. But okay, see now that slowdown has really hurt you, because you thought you could maybe get a gold block in, but you weren't able to pressure. You were a little bit too slow, and now this town center could have been grabbed 5 minutes ago. We're kind of going to see a little bit of a delay here. Now at this point, I feel like fighting hurts you more than helps. Your process to winning is to age up. Again, let's check your... You do have shaft mine now. You're not where your gold should be. Again, keep in mind what I said earlier is that Thor gold with your dwarves and the upgrades gathers at such a rate that you can buy your way to Mythic Age and it's better. So having it should kind of be swapped, your economy. Kind of taking some bad fights. And see, this is the problem. The hard part about Ra here is that it is hard to, if you miss that window on the second gold mine, there's not much you can do unless you have Ragnarok. And like right now, oh, you're going up tier. Yeah, tier here isn't worth a whole lot. Especially if you have to defend. Because again, there's really, with the way he's done, I mean, his start was a little bit goofy, but he's actually done a pretty good job, Mr. Quasar has, of kind of keeping himself protected. Because there's really no place you can reasonably push and do any damage. You're saving up. You got all four. I don't know how often you see this. You got 4 god powers sitting at the top, haven't been used yet. And now here comes, okay, a forest fire, flaming weapons. Now you're using it. Oh, you could have gotten us surrounded on the. You could have gotten us surrounded on the Son of Osiris here. Oh, he already has Ballista Tower. And now you're just throwing away your entire army. You actually could have. I know this looks scary. You probably could have just ignored this for a bit and came up here. I think that still probably might have won you the game. But yeah, this is a super strong position for him, along with Crenellation Towers, and that's a ton of units you're throwing away here. What kind of armory upgrades do you have? Decent. Eco upgrades. Okay. See, here's my thinking. With your attack here, this is where kind of it's easy to get tunnel vision in games and to see like, oh dang, he's got a forward base right next to me. Like, I have to kill this. I mean, think about what he had at the point where you attacked this. He had his army here, but he didn't even have any siege. So you really could have ignored this whole position here for like a couple minutes. And like the only reason he got siege out is because you killed his units. Like he was at full pop, I think, and had no siege. So what you could have done was just ignore all of this and use all your god powers in combination to come up here and kill this town center. Which, even though he had two upgrades, you could have flattened this town center and then come back here by the time you like needed to defend, and potentially even been up 4 to 2 town centers. Like you might not have been even needed to use like flaming weapons to get this town center down. You probably would have had to use Fimbulwinter, but not flaming weapons. Maybe you could have saved flaming weapons until he comes out, and then you would have this, you know, say he comes out to defend, you could forest fire this flaming weapons once he comes out and maybe do a lot more. But yeah, see now just this attack into this base here, I mean, it wasn't gonna work. And now you just have no pop. But I'd say, I mean, yeah, if you're trying to win gracefully and you don't want to just do the Ragnarok cheese, you know, that's fine. I think you still could have won. The problem was you threw everything away on a forward base that you could have ignored for a little bit of time yet. Because where he's at here, this doesn't quite give him access to any of your town centers yet. So yeah, what you could have done is ignored all of this attacked here, and then you put him in a tough spot where does he try to keep pushing or does he try to defend? And I think in either of those situations, he probably was in a lose-lose situation. And now it's game over. So, where if he comes over here to defend, I think you kill this town center anyway. If he comes here to attack, you can kill this town center and save either flaming weapons or Fimbulwinter. Probably flaming weapons you would save. And then you can come back here and defend, or, you know, say he gets to this point while you're up on his town center. You could then use Forest Fire, of course, to open up the walls, or flaming weapons to defend this. And then you're at a 4-2. Yeah, at this point, I mean, yeah, you don't want to make raiding cavalry, as Scotty says at this point, especially once you see one ballista tower, just one, you might as well just assume raiding cavalry are out of the picture. You want Huskarl, Ulfsark, that kind of a deal. But yeah, I think overall here, nice upgrades. Like, you didn't play this poorly. A Frost would be better. A Ragnarok would be better. But if you're trying not to play like that, yeah, that's fine. Then of course you're not going to go that way. Then I think the big thing is you got sucked into this when he was actually pretty wide open on the back end. I mean, this town center has nothing next to it. This town center as well, I mean, just has this wall. I mean, again, that's pretty weak, but I think here you come up here. So, like, I think overall, like, gameplay wise, like, I don't think there was anything really to get too excited about. You're maybe a little slow in your eco upgrades. Maybe a little slow in grabbing your town center. God powers could have been different, but I think the big thing was just you got sucked into a spot that you really didn't need to fight for yet. Going Balder when named Fimbulwinter has the advantage of surprise. But that's what I think. I think if you attack here, you have a pretty good chance of winning. I'd give you the advantage yet attacking here, given that you had all your god powers. I think you could have won. But let's take a look at the economy. I mean, yeah, kill death wasn't good. Like, economically, you're where you need to be. I mean, you're way ahead eco-wise. So, yeah, given even late game here, I mean, his Ra isn't taking off at this point. So, I feel like, yeah, if you attack here, you would have won. And we can kind of speak of this generally, where a lot of times players play defensive when they don't need to. And what I mean is, I mean, this is a perfect example. This base looks super scary, but until he has siege and is within range of your town center, this base is almost pointless. Because what does it really protect? A gold mine. Is keeping his villagers safe. But until he gets siege and is moved forward, this base is accomplishing nothing for him. So it can be ignored. Now, you'd run into the danger where if you ignore it too long and then he forwards up and gets to, like, here, now you're in a little bit of a problem. But you had time. And generally speaking, I think players often are defensive when they can be aggressive. And that plays into, like, the Ra's hand here, where if the attack were to come here, well, the Ra is almost screwed at that point because he's now got this great base that's kind of doing nothing for him. While you're taking his town center, you're getting a 4-2 town center lead, cutting off his trade route. And now what does he do? He loses. But yeah, keep that in mind just generally. Like, I know sometimes when the enemy's knocking at your door, you want to be like, oh, dang, I got to defend this. I got to kill this. But if he's not actually knocking your house down, you can let him knock at the door. It's fine. You know, let him knock. But if he's not in danger of blowing your house over, it's okay. You can kind of go aggressive and dictate the course of the game, and then make him make him come to you. But yeah, no, he didn't go Balder. Sorry about that. No Balder. All right, so that's that little game there. I think it was a fun little match to watch. Give me a sec. I'm gonna be right back. I don't know if I'm gonna end the stream or continue on. I gotta check something quick. Let me take a bite of my zucchini bread. And give me a minute. I'll be back. All right, I'm back. I got time. We'll play a game or something. I know somebody in chat earlier wanted me to play a game for his infancy. I can also show off. So I got a new. I know the other night I was showing off my LED lights I got. I've got them up, kind of, and I think I like the way they're up. I've got them up with duct tape currently. Just I wanted to see how they'd end up. Reading the game from Roz, hoping I need to play better. Well, you know. So yeah, I don't. That game wasn't OP anything. You kind of played right into his hands. I mean, he's got a great base there where he can hide and defend in. You don't want to attack that. Let's see. I'll host up a 1v1. If I can't get anybody pretty quick, I will maybe go to Extended Edition. Bum, 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 bum. EE King. I don't know about that. But anyway, my new lights here are pretty awesome. I got a little remote here. I can change them. I want it to be red, green, blue, white. Put them on a smooth strobe. Oh man, look at this. This is high tech. So the reason I got lights was because, well, I wanted to. I think maybe eventually we can get into maybe doing some in-game kind of, lighting tricks or something, and people cast flaming weapons and wipe me out. We can do something about it. No BGO final video? Is it okay if he observes? Well, sure. Call Wiz. Wiz, I don't know if he's playing. But yeah, look at these great lights here. These are pretty awesome. I like it. So right now you can't tell, but I got it all duct taped up because I just wanted to see. But I think this is how I want it. I tried putting it like up the sidewall back there, and it just would really wash out my webcam, and that didn't work out so great. And I didn't want to, so I just got it like on the ceiling, up and around and everywhere. And I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. For 20 bucks, I can't go wrong. All right, well, I'm not. We're gonna make this a race. We'll see where I can get a first game in. Quick search on extended or hosting up on Boobly. But right now, we're gonna just keep this as the white. I got time for one game, maybe two. All right, we'll see how this goes. The problem is this will probably lag. That's okay. Vanilla. The problem with vanilla, it takes too many clicks for me to handle. I kind of at the point where I need auto cue. I hate to say it, but I wouldn't say EE's trash, but it's not what it could be or could have been. It's okay. It's all right. We're searching. Guy's a hosting a 1v1 1600, but he's only 1600. I don't know about that. Bum, 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 bum. PK Chicks, oh man. He's still around. I'd chat with him once in a while. Yeah, it's kind of late at night to find a decent game. But anyway, I hope things are going well for all you guys. Hey, Father's Day. Next Sunday. And I'm a dad. So that's exciting. I don't know. For those of you who are in America, maybe you guys have heard about a restaurant, kind of, that's called Medieval Times. Basically, what you do is you show up and you eat a medieval-themed feast in front of a medieval-themed show where you got knights and horses and court jesters and all sorts of nonsense. Eat with your hands, yep. So I've always kind of wanted to do it, but when I'm an adult, I kind of, where's your excuse, I mean, should I really go? So now that my son is 6, he'll love it. I'll probably love it more than he will. So I talked the wife into it. So yeah, we're going to Medieval Times on Father's Day. And of course we got to go to IKEA before that, because that's where the wife wants to go. But can I stream it? I should. Oh man. The problem is I don't have a lot of data on my phone, but it's gonna be I think my wife will be embarrassed to sit with me, because I'm not holding back. You got to get into it. I'm gonna cheer for my favorite knight. No, the stream's not done. I mean, I'm trying to find a game, but I can't. Everybody's too afraid to fight me. Might have to do a team game. The wenches, I don't think the wenches, I don't know. I don't think the point of the wenches is for them to be well endowed, but maybe they will be. But in which case, I'll be with my wife, and I can't do that. Dude, I'm just sitting here. Now, the problem is I don't want to broaden. Because then I'm going to end up playing like a 1700. And what's the point of that? So, EE or Voobly. Lighting looks top notch. You wouldn't say that if you realized it's all held up by duct tape currently. And some of it is hanging. Because the duct tape isn't keeping it. But I'm just testing it to see how it's going to work. And I think it's pretty good. I feel like a king here. Just being able to press this button. Oh, you want me to go all blue, huh? Yeah, there we go. Look at this. Do I have kids? Yes, I got 2. And you forgot blue eyes, too. Someone once told me they are the color of the Caribbean Sea. I think he was lying to me. It was a guy that told me that, too. It was really weird. Like, just randomly. Like, oh, hey. Oh, your eyes are like the color of the Caribbean Sea. Like, okay. Appreciate that. Yeah, it isn't, well, I could turn it on yellow. Kind of looks yellow, I guess. Cheesy potatoes. I cannot find a game. But Arpelos, why do you ask? Do you have kids? I'm trying to play Mr. Destructo. I can't find an opponent. When I realized I was in love with my wife. Oh man, that's a weird story. To tell you the truth. You got your first kid. Congratulations. Kids are awesome. Man, I was playing in the backyard with my little 2-year-old earlier. That was just great. I mean, she was just so... Oh, I tell you what, though. Speaking of 2-year-olds, she loves these lights. Like, it's like completely blown her mind. She comes down, she calls them the pretty lights. And she always asks, now that I've got these things, to come down and play with my pretty lights. And you get to press the buttons here. What are we looking at? Yeah, she loves it. She loves that she can press the button and turn them on. And then she says all the colors. The problem is she doesn't really know her colors very well, so she like change it to green and be like, blue, blue. I'm like, no, it's green. And then she says, yeah, green. And then she turned it to yellow, red. I'm like, no, no. So yeah, she loves it. It was worth the big 20 I slapped down on it. I think I'll just do a 330 rush here. Because why not? Let me know if the stream is real laggy. This is extended edition. It tends to lag for me. Yeah, so far the only Pharaoh that has showed up was Wims showed up. Oh. Valk is really worried about the Kronos. How long is the queue? It's pretty long, man. I mean, it's just random, too. Because I can't delete ones that are already in it. Well, look at this gold mine here. This is a big gold mine. So there's like 50 different pharaoh names, so yeah, it could take a while. But see, I can't remove the names because they exist. I guess what I could do is like double up on the names. That's an idea. Look at that, thinking ahead. I could do that actually. Maybe I'll do that. I don't know why I haven't built my temple. Oh well. Kronos 101, huh? Yeah, I know this second gold mine is spectacular. I don't know where his gold. No, what I'll do, I mean, we'll see. We'll see what people want. I mean, I could let people have 2 names until I run out of, you know, space, and then that'll be that. Oh, this is... Whew. This isn't going to turn out good for him.
Herr Joes erschlossen. Mak erschlossen. Fest.
But he's got just as good of a gold mine as I do. Got a dumb of him to build his houses here.
Herr Joes. Skobos fest. Fest.
I guess he's Poseidon too, I didn't even realize that. Oh, I'm housed. Great. He ever aging up?
Herr Joes. Yuji. Most intem fest.
Yuji West. Burek. Gilles Moket. Gopos. Gopos. Burek. Gilles Moket.
Oh, come on. Just kill the...
Gopos. Gopos. Burek. Yuji. Most intem. Herr Jos. West.
Okay, you little Prometheans, go run around and find where all his villas are. Oh, I forget too that you gotta upgrade your. What is this? Oh, let's get that. Yeah, I know. I already got my house going.
Most intem.
Oh.
Yuji, Ma. Burek, Ma. Yuji. Burek, Ma. Burek. Skopos. Dilis Moke, Yuji. Dilis Moke. Burek. Skopos, Ma. Yuji. Dilis Moke.
Didn't seem like he accomplished much in the
Burek. Dilis Moke.
time period that he
Yuji.
had a ceasefire going.
Skopos, Eshlos, Yuji. Yuji. Eshlos. Eshlos, Yuji. Skopos, Yuji. Eshlos.
Oh, need another house.
Burek. Yuji. Osto, Diat.
Osto. Osto.
You know what? Let's just make them all.
Skopos, Burek.
Surprise, little lady.
Yuji. Skopos, Yuji. Skopos, Ma. Burek. Yuji. Skopos, Eshlos. Yuji.
This hero looks real scary until you realize he's only got like 1 health yet.
Osto.
Burek, Diat.
Jeez, I thought I told all of them to retreat.
Burek.
What the heck is going on here?
Yuji lost. Yuji.
Run!
Yuji lost.
Lions played better than he has.
Yuji. Most intem.
Skopos. Burek. Burek. Eshlos. Burek. Skopos. Dilis Moke. Burek. 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 Skopos. Ma. Yuji. Yuji. Dilis Moke. Skopos. Eshlos. Lost. Yuji. Schwest. Skopos. Schloss.
That villager.
Yuji. Most intem.
Skopos. Ma.
Oh my goodness, if I would have just dropped off Pygmalion statue, that would never would even happened. Some might ask, why do I have a villager there? I'm really not sure.
Herr Joes.
Burek. Most intem. Yuji. Burek. Eshlos. Burek.
Herr Joes. Osto. Most intem.
Yuji. Eshlos. Yuji. Eshlos. Burek. Yuji. Eshlos. Skopos. Dilis Moke. Burek. Yuji. Dilis Moke. Skopos. Yuji. Skopos. Ma. Yuji. Yuji. Eshlos. Burek. Dilis Moke. Skopos.
I don't know where he's sending his centaur, but I like it.
Skopos. Yuji. Eshlos. Skopos. 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 Dilis Moke. Burek. Burek. Yuji. Burek. Eshlos. Yuji. Yuji. Burek. Yuji. Burek.
Hey, Hippolyta, you going the wrong way, lady. The mall is not that way. GG. Oh my goodness.
Bureg.
Late advance. I think there you need to advance faster than that. I mean, you're Poseidon. There's really no excuse, you know? Like, you should be able to advance like 420 at the latest.
Bureg.
Yeah, 5 minutes is really slow. Do myth units count as other myth units? No, myth units are just myth units. They don't count as cavalry or anything. I think the only myth unit that benefits from a human tech is the Valkyrie, who gets thundering hooves. But she's not cavalry. Myth units also, oh man, that didn't take long. Myth units also get bonuses against each other. Almost all of them do. And some of them are higher than others. Okay, this time, somebody wanted to see a lot of automatons. Let's do that. Well, I'm all psyched out. He's thinking I'm gonna crush him again. In which case I need to make it so he can't find my eco guild, so I'm going to do something with it. Little crush? Nah. Well, I got. Yes, I'm going. You're on the right track, Raptor. I'm gonna time shift my eco guild so he doesn't see it. Except I don't think I'm ever going to get line of sight to do it. If he were smart, he would see the thing. See, I don't want to time shift it here because he might swoop in that direction. Yeah, I'm gonna go for probably an archaic town center. Oh, I saw his scout. Okay, sweet. Watch him come down here. I saw a scout come down that way. Oh, no. Alright. He's not gonna see it. Watch this trickery. I should have done it sooner. If I would have had a little bit better resources, I could have placed it at about 230. He knows! I also shouldn't have deleted it while he still had vision. This is gonna be great, actually.
Bureg. Uji. Bureg. Bureg. Uji. Bureg. Skopos. Bureg. Mak.
Skopos. Mak.
Skopos. Skopos. Eschlost. Bureg. Eschlost. Uji. Eschlost. Skopos. 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 Uji.
Skopos. Herjos. Eschlos. Eschlos. Mak. Uji. Also. Skopos. West. Bureg. West.
Uji. Eschlost. Herjos. Herjos. Uji. Mak. Bureg. Uji. Mos intem.
Herjos. Mak. Diat. Herjos. Bureg. Lost. Uji.
Herjos. West. Bureg.
Herjos. West.
Skopos. West. Uji.
Ba 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 ba.
Osto.
Skopos.
Mos intem.
I can't find my eco guild.
Uji. Also. Mak. Skopos.
Bureg. Osto.
Herjos. Uji.
Uji. Uji. Uji. Bureg.
Bureg.
Uji. Mak. Also. Mak.
Uji. Mos
Oh,
intem.
don't go down there.
Uji. Mak. Mak. Schwest.
Bureg. Ma.
Alright, he's really...
Herjos. Uji. Schlost. Mak.
Bureg. G. Herjos. Herjos. Bureg. Uji.
Uji. Mak. Diat.
Herjos.
Uji. Diat. Bureg. Diat.
Uji. Bureg. Osto. Uji.
Uji. Mak. Uji.
Uji.
Bureg. Osto. Herjos. Uji.
Herjos. Intum.
Bureg.
Skopos. Bureg. Mos intem. Skopos. Mos
Uji.
intem.
Also. West.
Okay.
Uji. Diat. Mak.
Herjos. Osto.
Uji. Eschlost.
Uji. 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 Ma.
Uji. Mos intum.
Herjos. Uji. Ma. Bureg. Uji.
Bureg.
Bureg. Mak. West.
Herjos. Tilis moke. Uji. Uji.
Bureg. Diat.
Bureg. Uji. Tilis moke.
Uji.
Herjos.
Mos intem.
Skopos. Skopos. Also. Eschlein.
Skopos. Vayen. Uji. 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 Bureg. Skopos.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Skopos.
Oh. Are these secondary upgrades any good for
Bureg.
Automaton and EE?
Herjos.
Bureg. Also.
Uji. Schloss. Mos
Herjos.
intem.
Intum. Skopos. West.
Bureg. 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 E porofra. Herjos. G.
Skopos.
Bureg. Uji. Herjos. Tilis moke.
Skopos.
Uji. Bureg. Uji.
Skopos. Skopos.
Tilis moke. Bureg. G. Herjos. Uji. Herjos. Osto.
Uji. Also.
Oh.
Uji. Eschlein.
I need to suppose they were idle for.
Skopos. E porofras. Skopos. Skopos.
The lights are flying around here.
Burek, Yuji, Ostia.
Marsh. Skopos.
Okay, he's got 4 town centers. There's 3.
Burek.
A little bit of a mistake, I feel like.
Skopos.
Yuji.
Tells me
Yuji. Eshlos.
I want to age up.
Skopos.
Herr Joes.
I also want to
Eshlos. Eshlos. Eshlos.
go see what damage can be done.
Skopos. Yuji.
Burek.
Yuji. E porofras. Yuji. Yuji. Burek. Yuji. Burek. E porofras. Yuji. Eshlos. E porofras.
We got that healing thing, didn't he?
Yuji. Burek. Burek.
Yuji. Yuji. Burek. Eshlos.
Burek. Yuji.
Like this trick, I put him in Alt S so he would heal up my.
Burek.
He's in stand ground, so he'll repair my automaton that fell.
Skopos. Yuji. Burek. Intel.
I like them apples.
Yuji.
Herr Joes. Eshlos. Also. Herr Joes. Yuji. Herr Joes. Intel.
Burek. Eshlos. Yuji.
Burek. Also. Mak. Yuji.
Skopos. Yuji.
Go find somewhere to attack, like right there.
Yuji.
Herr Joes. Skopos. Diot.
Skopos. Yuji. Eshlos. Yuji. E porofras.
Osto.
Skopos. Yuji.
Burek. Diot. Burek. Mak.
Yuji. Eshlos. Yuji. Burek. Burek. E porofras. Yuji.
Herr Joes.
Skopos. Eshlos.
Skopos.
How much does it cost to time shift towers? Oh, that's a lot.
Burek. Burek. Eshlos. Burek.
Oh, look at this tricky dude.
E porofras.
Diot.
He thinks he's special.
Yuji. Diot.
Burek. Skopos. Yuji. Eshlos. Burek. Eshlos.
Skopos. Diot.
Yuji. Eshlos. Skopos. Skopos.
Skopos. Diot.
Herr Joes. Yuji. Intel. Diat.
Skopos. Yuji. Diot.
You know, this might not be worth it here.
Herr Joes.
Eshlos.
Got a lot of.
Diat.
Burek. Yuji. E porofras. Skopos. E porofras. Burek. Skopos. Yuji. Skopos. Skopos.
A little bit surprising. I haven't found a. You know, I might have a back town center here.
Yuji.
Skopos. Mak. Yuji.
Yuji.
Burek.
Yuji. Osto. Skopos. Yuji. Burek.
We're back. Oh, this is why. My side gold mine over here is spawned on the other side of the
Herr Joes. Intel.
Yuji.
the
Eshlost.
cliff.
Herr Joes.
Herr Joes.
Burek.
Yuji. Skopos. Yuji.
Yuji. Also.
Yuji. Mak.
That would be a problem.
Burek.
Oh, oh, oh.
Skopos, most inter Jos.
Skopos. Mark.
Because I have no other gold mine.
Herr Jos, also. Skopos, Yuji.
Herr Joes, most intem. Herr Joes. Herr Joes. Most intem.
Herr Schloss. Mark.
And I used all of my, a lot of my gold on automatons that apparently don't live very long.
Herr Joes, most intem. Herr Joes, most intem. Most intem.
Burek, Mak. Also. Eschlos, also. Yuji, also.
Look at it! Look at this!
Mak, also. Eschlos.
Burek. Herr Joes.
Schloss. Skopos, most inter.
Yuji.
Hmm.
Yuji. Mark. Skopos. Schloss. Schloss. Skopos. Skopos.
I fell into, I tend to do this,
Eschlos.
Skopos.
with Atlantean.
Yuji. Mark. Schloss. Yuji. Dilis Mokay. Yuji. Mark. Schloss. Yuji. Skopos.
Is that I didn't have enough military buildings.
Burek. Schloss.
Yuji, Mak.
Yuji. Schloss. Dilis Mokay.
Yuji, lost. Eschlos.
Skopos.
So when it came time for that one big fight, I didn't have any.
Burek. Burek. Skopos. Yuji.
Yeah, I should have just gone class. The problem was I did not realize soon enough. Like as I was aging up or after, I realized that
Burek. Dilis Mokay.
I was in a bit of a bind.
Dilis Mokay.
Herr Jos.
Skopos. E poro fras. Burek. Yuji.
And he's already up Artemis too.
Burek.
Herr Joes, Osto, Yuji.
Yuji. Yuji. Dilis Mokay. Skopos.
Burek, also.
Burek. Schloss.
Sky Passage. Those are Kronos.
Herr Joes,
Burek.
Bur, Yuji.
Burek. Yuji. Burek. Schloss. Skopos. Dilis Mokay.
Oh, I don't have anything to.
Burek. Yuji. Yuji. Burek. Yuji. Skopos.
Alright. I think this is my first loss on the extended edition ladder. Man. That. Yeah, the problem was after I aged up, I realized that this gold mine, that if he went all out, he could probably gold starve me.
Skopos.
And he actually did a good job of realizing that he could do that. Yeah, I wanted to transition into some. I hate doing random though, because I might get the Chinese. What time is it? Okay. Sure, we'll do one raw game on here. See what happens. But yeah, if I stay classical age there, I get that gold mine pretty easily. Because then I'd actually have an army and not no army. But he did a good job of walling off that other side. But yeah, that one gold mine on the far side of the cliff was a bit problematic. Well, you know what? I might have to go. I don't have any. My phone just died right when I picked it up. What time is it? I can't check my phone. It just died. Oh, yeah, I'd better go. I got kids that'll be running around on me in a little bit. All right. Well, thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys another time. It'll be a little bit. A few days. Maybe. Something like that. I forgot too that heroes don't do any damage in Archaic Age on the extended edition. I could have just built that with one villager and been fine. But that kind of screwed up my economy pretty hard early. But that happens. Anyway, I will send you guys over to someone else. And I will get the duct tape off of the lights and actually put them up the normal way.